Hey there, my friends. Thanks for checking out this week's video. As usual, two things. If you like what you see, please share it with other people because you never know whose life you might affect in a positive way. Number two, always leave your comments. I want to know what you think about the things that I think, and we can have a really powerful conversation in the process. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to talk about something very important this week. Here it is. Do you remember when we used to be human beings? Yeah. Do you remember that? Like, do you remember those days when you used to walk down the street and you'd notice someone walking toward you on the same side of the street and you didn't cross the street to avoid that person? Remember those days? Do you remember those days when a high school teacher could actually hug a student who was feeling sad or upset about something without fear of being charged with sexual assault? Do you remember those days when somebody would be blocking your way and you couldn't get around them and you could actually say the words, "Excuse me," without having a panic attack? Oh gosh, you remember those days, don't you? When you'd be walking down the street with a piece of garbage in your hand and you'd throw it at the trash can and you'd miss. And you'd be in public and you think, oh gosh, I'm so silly. And you walk over, you pick up the garbage and you just put it in the bin. Remember those days? As opposed to what people do today when they miss the garbage. They're like, oh my God, I just missed the garbage. Someone might have seen that. I hope nobody saw that. Oh my, what should I do? Maybe I should run. Maybe I should run. Yes, I should run. Or maybe I should fake an injury. Yes, I should fake an injury because if I pick it up and put it in the garbage, someone might notice that I'm an actual human being. Oh my God, what has happened to us people? When did we stop being human? You know, I was sitting in Starbucks the other day and there was this woman who sat next to me with her daughter, and the daughter was about 10 years old. The daughter knocked over her hot chocolate onto the ground. It landed right on the lid. So the hot chocolate was slowly spilling out. And neither one of them reacted. And I looked over and I thought, the mother is still texting and the daughter is just still looking out the window like nothing happened. And I thought, oh my God, this is so sad. These two people, they're blind. They must be blind. So I thought, okay, well, I'll help out. So I leaned over to pick up the hot chocolate to help them out. And as I started going for it, I guess the mother noticed that, and that was enough to prompt her to pick up the coffee or the hot chocolate herself. And so she put it back on the table. Then she went up and got a couple napkins, brought the napkins over, and just put it on top of the hot chocolate, put her foot on top of it, and just slid this huge pool of hot chocolate about 3 inches in one direction. And then that was it. And then later on, she started getting up to leave the Starbucks, and I said, excuse me, are you going to pick that up, like that huge mess on the ground? And she looked back at me and she said, I can't. I don't have any hand sanitizer. And that's when I said to her, I said, oh no, it's okay. You can touch it. Yeah, it won't hurt you. And the reason I know that is because you've been drinking it. It's been going into your body, so I'm gonna guess that you probably wouldn't have done that if you were afraid of it. And that's when she said to me, and you're not gonna believe this, okay? You cannot script this stuff. She said to me, you know what, I work in a cafeteria, you know, and you have no idea how dirty a floor can actually get. And I said, no, you've given me a pretty good idea of that. So it didn't take a mental giant to figure out the fact that this was going absolutely nowhere. So I said to the woman, I said, you know what, don't worry about it. I will take the big life risk and I will clean this up for you. I leaned over, I started wiping it up. I said, don't worry, I know that I'm putting my life on the line, but I've got this. And then I said to her, I go, and you know what? You just keep on doing what you are in fact very good at. And that is setting a shitty example for your daughter. I can't figure out why my friends will never meet me for a coffee at Starbucks. Now look, I could give you thousands of examples how we as human beings have moved further and further and further away from being human beings. But this week I want to speak to you about my all-time favorite, and that is the fact that we, somewhere along the line, have made it acceptable to ignore each other. Have you seen this? Do you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you can email somebody today or text message someone who you know either professionally or personally, and you ask them a question, or you invite them to something that's important to you, or you just say to them that you saw something recently that made you think of them. And all of a sudden, after you've sent that out, they go into something called silence. And you think to yourself, oh, you know what, they're probably busy. I mean, it's only been a week, no big deal. And silence. And then eventually, about 2 months goes by, and all of a sudden one day you realize, hold on, I never heard back from that person. And you start thinking to yourself, man, maybe they forgot how to read. I mean, come on, you got to admit it. It's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it? To think that somebody could read something that you sent them, someone who knows you, and then they just choose to not respond. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's amazing to think that somebody could do that to you. Or that you do that to people. Let's face it, if you're watching this right now, I would put my life on it to say that there's a 99% chance that you are one of those people who's actually done this. And my question to you is, how do you do that? Somebody you know says something to you via email or text message and you just choose not to respond. Doesn't that feel weird? I mean, if that same person walked up to you in the street and they asked you a question, would you just look at them and go, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do it. So why is it acceptable to do it when it's in the written form? Man, remember when we used to be human beings? Thanks for checking out that video, my friend. I've got one more over here for you. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And next to that, you can also subscribe to my weekly newsletter. If you do, you get a free gift. How cool is that? And last but not least, please make sure that you share this with other people. Together, we can change the world. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.